Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Today's video I'm super excited to do because we're going to be doing this beautiful fall look using all e.l.f. Cosmetics makeup. Brand has been around for a very long time and it stands for eyes, lips, and face. I hope you enjoy this video and consider subscribing before you leave today. And if you like to see how I achieve this beautiful fall look with bold bare lips, continue watching. Okay guys, we're gonna start with a bare face. I have all these fun products that for some reason I've never gotten to try from e.l.f. and the brand has been around for a very long time, and a lot of these products have been known as really staple products in many people's routines and collections. So today finally I am going to tell you how I feel about all this product. So we're going to be doing a full face of e.l.f. Cosmetics. I'm really excited about it. This video is not going to be a first impressions. I've shared with you guys on my Instagram that I've been working and testing all these products for about 10 days now consistently, and I have some really roundup thoughts. So without any further ado, let's get into it because I cannot wait to tell you. For my primer today, I'm going to be using the Porless Putty primer. Very well-known product, and I also raved about this product on my channel. I've mentioned this in my previous videos. So I'm actually going to be pretty generous with it. As you can see, I'm just gonna kind of put this on my finger and use this on my T-zone. Guys, I actually realized that I did not use this primer properly. I almost was like afraid to use it in the beginning. I would take a little bit, just tiny little bit, and put it on my T-zone, and then I realized that there's no reason to be afraid of this product. It's actually really comfortable, and you can't really over apply it. It goes on skin really comfortably, and I would also go ahead and apply it here where my smile lines usually come out, and it actually helps me with smoothing out this area, and my complexion products go on a little bit smoother. I always put it around my nose and in the T-zone, of course, where I have enlarged pores. This product is really smoothing. I'm gonna share with you a small trick here. Whenever I have a face primer that has a little bit of like a gripping consistency, I like to put it all over my eyebrows as well. That would actually tame my eyebrows. It almost makes my fine eyebrow hair a little bit thicker in a way and tames it. I put them on my eyebrows like this, almost like brush them in. This primer really fills up the pores really nicely and smooths out the complexion. For my foundation today, I'm going to be using the Camo CC cream. Mine came in the shade Light 210N. I really like the packaging. It's that squeezy tube. So I'm going to use my foundation brush from Ulta Beauty, and I'm going to go ahead and apply a good amount. So this foundation actually is not a bad undertone for me. However, when this foundation was initially launched, you guys, this shade was sold out for the longest time. I couldn't get my hands on this foundation in a very long time. Probably for like the first 2 months, I couldn't find it anywhere. Every single retailer around me and online was sold out of this shade. It actually looks like it's a little bit dark for me. Today I have a really nice tan. I have been trying a new tanning lotion and it actually pretty dark. So this shade perfectly works for me today. I don't even think I have to match it to my neck or anything like that. I think it just perfectly matches at this point. On a regular day when I'm not self-tan, it would definitely be a little bit too dark for me. This foundation definitely is very interesting. It does give you a really nice medium coverage, and it is also buildable. It does apply on skin pretty well. I'm gonna go ahead with this e.l.f. sponge and just kind of smooth everything out before we continue. This shape is really interesting. I found this sponge in the set with the e.l.f. makeup brush cleanser, and that cleanser, you guys, is amazing. This sponge came with this charcoal cleanser, and if you guys watched my vlog where I shared with you how I wash my brushes, I actually showed it to you. This is the cleanser that I use. It's a charcoal cleanser. and this is probably one of the best cleansers I found so far. I liked it that much I actually repurchased a new one. The sponge itself, it's fine. It's a nice sponge. It's very bouncy. It's really soft. It doesn't leave the streaks. I use it interchangeably with my other sponges. Even though this foundation is a medium coverage, I feel like my complexion looks pretty natural at the moment. I still see some of my texture going through. I still see the pores like in this areas right here, and it does look like my second skin. I still see my freckles, and it looks natural. There's so many different reviews on this Camo CC cream, and some people either loved it and some people did not. I feel like it's okay. It's not the most amazing foundation. Yeah, I'm calling it foundation. I'm not calling it a CC cream because it's pretty high coverage. When this was launched, basically this product was compared to the It Cosmetics CC cream. Do I think it's a dupe? No, I don't think so. It does look like it could be in the packaging. However, It Cosmetics CC cream, to my opinion, is not a dupe. I think I'm pretty happy with how the coverage looks like at the moment, and let's go ahead and conceal my eye area, and I'm gonna go with 16 Hours Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Beige. I love this concealer, you guys. It is a full coverage concealer. Mine is really bright, I'll tell you that much, so don't get scared. There's going to be a really brightening effect with this concealer once I blend everything. And I'm going to use a different sponge from e.l.f. It's this almond shape, cute little sponge. I really like it. It's very interesting. It's super soft, you guys. I don't think I own anything softer than this. It almost feels like I'm having a cotton candy in my fingers. As you can see, blended out really nicely. It's definitely that full coverage. If you have more texture and fine lines, I don't think this is going to be the product for you because it is a full coverage concealer, almost kind of like a semi-matte formula that it will accentuate lines and dryness. It definitely brighten up my under eyes area, and when I tell you guys, when I have really bad sleeping patterns and when I have the bad insomnia, if you have dark under eye circles, if you definitely need that full coverage for your under eyes, this is a concealer to go. This concealer wears really well throughout the day and it does not budge. So let's go ahead and move on to the bronzer. Today I'm going to be using two different bronzers. I'm going to start with the Putty bronzers by e.l.f. I did the whole entire separate video for testing these two products, and I will have this linked for you guys in the description box. So I picked up two different shades, 10 Lines and Honey Drip. 10 Lines is right here and Honey Drip is right here, and Honey Drip is just a little bit darker, and this is what I'm going to be using today. And I'm just going to be using my Angle Fluffy brush that I normally use from Japanesque, and I'm just going to swirl it like this in the pan and apply this to my cheek. I always start with the cheek area, and you guys can see it's pretty pigmented, and I actually want the pigment right now because I am pretty self-tanned, so I can afford to build up the color to its full potential. And I'm gonna try to blend it out with this same brush because this brush is pretty soft, so it doesn't move the foundation underneath. It almost like blends into this. So I am gonna do just that. I'm gonna blend out the edges like this, and I'm really loving the effect how this bronzer just melts into skin, like as you can see. I think that these bronzers are a really nice formula. The more I played, the more I realized this is a beautiful budget-friendly formula. It's definitely glowy. It's pigmented. You can build it up a little bit. It's not super opaque. It is a little bit more see-through, I would say, and it has a glow to it, which I appreciate. With my combination oily skin, it actually works pretty well, so I can't complain. I do like the finish. I do like how it applies and blends, and it actually wears throughout the day very nicely. I do not have any complaints about this product at all. Okay, so the cream products are done for now, and I'm going to set my under eyes first and then the rest of my face. So I'm going to be using two different powders for that. To conceal my under eyes, I'm going to be using a Perfect Finish HD powder. This powder is white in color. When you open it, it has a separate pen underneath. However, there's nothing there. There's no sponge. This powder has a mirror. First, I'm gonna use the brush to make sure I don't have any creasing on my lids or under my eyes as well. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take a sponge and just swirl it inside of this powder and pick up a good amount. And just gonna go ahead and tap right under my eye. Let me zoom you guys in as much as I can. Can you guys see this? What's happening here? It almost looks like sand particles. It's very, very interesting. However, the powder goes under eyes pretty smoothly. All right, let's go ahead and continue to set the other eye. I have no issues with this powder whatsoever. So I've been testing it longer than a week. I really love the effect of it. It's brightening. As you can see, it's really brightening. It's pretty smoothing. And it is long wearing. It really lasts me a really, really long time. My T-zone, guys, is a very, very oily, especially in warmer season. So I'm actually going to use a fluffy brush to powder my T-zone like here and here for that. This powder really wears well for a long time, and I'm talking about probably for a good 5-6 hours, and that's a lot for my skin type. As you can see, it brightened up my under eye area and it mattified it. It also has a very soft finish. One thing that I also wanted to mention, that this powder does not give you a flashback. Let's go ahead and set the rest of my face today, and I'm going to be using a Halo Glow setting powder. This is in the shade Light. So when you untwist this, there's a twisting portion. You move it to the portion where the dots open up like that. I'm going to put some into the lid so I can use it with the powder brush. I'm going to use my brush from Moda, and I'm just going to buff that powder into my face. I've heard so many people rave about this powder, like this is the best out of the best in a drugstore. And of course, I was so curious about this. You guys know that I am not in general a huge fan of loose powders because they're messy. Just for that one reason. This is not where my preference lays. I really love pressed powders just because they're cleaner. By now, I've been testing this powder for over a week, and on my face, it looks matte. This powder is described as a glow powder, and it's supposed to give you a little bit of a glow. I do not see any glow. I'm not sure if I am not understanding something here, but I do not see any glow whatsoever. It is a beautiful, smoothing, matte powder on my face, and it's long lasting. I love it the way it is. I love it the way it performs. It's pretty easy to apply. The shade definitely matches me pretty well. It doesn't change the color of my foundation. The shade that I picked almost performs as translucent. I cannot speak for all of them. I can only speak for this specific shade that I have. But I really like the finish. I think it's beautiful. It's that soft matte finish that's actually very flattering, and it doesn't look powdery. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel dry. Really comfortable powder. I would like to still add a little bit more bronzer, but I'm gonna go with this primer infused bronzer, which is a part of formula. I have mine in the shade Forever Sunkissed. This is a matte formula bronzer, so I'm just gonna use my England fluffy brush. It's very, very pigmented formula, and I just want to accentuate just this area, deepen it up a little bit, and then here on my forehead, almost like as if I would contour it. I really like this formula. It does have a matte finish, but it is not drying, and it feels really comfortable on skin. And I really like the undertone. It's definitely warmer undertone. However, I can afford using it right now with my self-tan, because when I self-tan, I do get that warmer undertone on my skin. When I'm not self-tan, when I'm pale self, this bronzer unfortunately would not work for me, but today is just perfect. In the next category, I have a few products that I would like to mention. I will be only using one of them, and these are blushes. So I do have cream products in a palette. I also have a putty blush in the shade Turks and Caicos. And I also have an infused primer powder blush in the shade Always Silly, which is a beautiful mauve tone. And this is the powder that I'm going to be using today. However, I wanted to mention a few things about the other two cream products. So I actually recently picked up the Putty blush. It is a drier formula that you would normally see in the cream blushes. It looks good on a bare skin, better than it does on the top of the foundation. I feel like it actually moves my foundation underneath. I love the color, and I like using it on bare skin, like on my no makeup days. This next palette with 4 different cream blushes, and I don't believe it's available anymore. It does have a full-size mirror. I unfortunately do not see the shade names on here, so I'm not sure if one of them is actually one of these Putty blushes. I feel like this formula is different from Putty blushes, creamier and is more luminous. All these colors are just so amazing, and this formula is so amazing. It just goes on skin so effortlessly, and it's just such a pleasure to use. Let me know if you own this palette and if you love it as much as I do. I really wish they would bring this back. Let's go ahead and put some blush on this face. This is a primer infused blush, and when I tell you guys that this blush wears the whole entire day, believe me when I say that. This is one of the most favorite blushes of mine out of my entire collection. I love blushes. I'm not afraid of blushes. This is beautiful pigment. It just full on pigment. I would say Go Light-Handed have a fluffy angled brush similar to this. This blush has a little sheen in it. However, it's just very healthy looking. It's not glittery. It doesn't accentuate your texture. It's just a beautiful full on pigment, and it lasts the whole entire day. For my highlighter today, I'm going to be using the Metallic Flare highlighter in the shade White Gold. It does look goldish. One thing I can tell you guys as we're applying it is that this is a very much buildable formula. If you like something that's a little bit more subtle, then you can just go and apply just a little bit on your face. If you like something that's a little bit more intense, you can just layer it up a few times. Use a nice large brush like this, or something that is just very soft and fluffy, and it will give you a really nice, like, airbrushed highlighted look. I am gonna go and layer it up, and it builds up really beautifully. Even though the highlighter itself in a pan looks gold, however on skin it goes like a champagne undertone, and I really like that. It goes very well with the warm complexion that I created today. It is a pretty firmly pressed highlighter. There's not much fallout, so I know it will last you for a good amount of time. I like the size of the pan too. If you would like to do a body highlighting, you'll definitely be able to use a larger brush. Next step, we're going to be framing my eyebrows. I'm going to be using this beautiful Wow Brow tinted gel, and I've mentioned this product in my previous favorites videos and maybe in some other ones because I love it so much. I really like the natural bristle brush. This eyebrow gel already has fibers in the formula, and it also helps you to create that volume automatically. I'm going to show you the technique that I have been using to achieve that fuller looking eyebrows, which I naturally do not have. First, I want to make sure that the brush is fully loaded with the gel. Swipe the brush along your eyebrows, depositing the full color, just filling up that background with the color that's on the brush. Once you do that, you want to go ahead and, as a step 2, start swiping and brushing up the hairs that you have, and almost like brushing and pressing them down at the same time. And that will let your eyebrow hairs stand up and stay in place. And you will continue doing this until you've done the whole entire eyebrow. I'm going to be using the Ultra Precise pencil. This is a beautiful skinny pencil, and the formula of this is amazing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and outline the eyebrow on the bottom. I decided that I'm making this pencil a permanent product in my makeup collection at the moment because It is very creamy. It is fully pigmented. It is just so easy to use. It is easy to fill in sparseness, and it also is very easy to create the smaller strokes if that's the look that you're going for. If you are not blessed with a natural eyebrows, just like I wasn't, then this technique might be your best friend. Maybe you already have been using it. This is a technique that I use on a daily basis to work with my eyebrows. I really like how everything is looking. Even up close, it looks really, really nice. The brow gel just really adds that volume, as if you do have more natural hairs. That fiber formula really does a good job of making that effect. This brow gel and this pencil is the magic duo. Let's go ahead and finish up my eye look today, and I'm going to be using the bite-sized quads from e.l.f. I do have two different ones. I have a cream and sugar and a rose water. As you can see, this quad has been loved. I'm going to start with the rose water palette, and I'm going to go into this lightest matte shade. None of these shades have actual shade names, so I'm gonna use a fluffy brush and just start applying it into my crease. It is a cooler tone palette, and we have two matte shades and two shimmer shades. This darker matte shade has a golden micro glitter in them, which I personally don't mind. I feel like that micro glitter that's in this specific shade does not transfer on the eyelid when you start applying it. This matte shade blends so easily. I'm actually going to use this blending brush by e.l.f. and J. Kissa. This was a collaboration last year, and these brushes came in a set, which I picked up, and I did not regret one single second that I did. I don't believe they're available anymore, but if you have an opportunity to get hands on them somehow, they're really good. So I'm gonna go ahead and dip into this darker shade right here, just very lightly, and we're gonna dip it up the outer corner. In the pan, this shade looks a little more purple. On the eyelid, it really just translates like grayish almost. To do my lower lid, I'm gonna reach for this cream and sugar matte brown shade, and I'm gonna apply it on the lower lid. This shimmer shade from the rose palette. This is just such a beautiful shimmer, and it applies with the brush really nicely. As you can see, there's a good amount of fallout. However, the color is really pretty. That came off with the brush really easily with no problems. I don't have any smudging. I'd like to go ahead and use this lighter shimmer shade from Cream and Sugar. Put it in my inner corner and just blend it out a little bit on the lid, just bringing that brightness to the inside of your eye. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the other eye behind the camera, and I'm gonna be right back to continue. I would love to finish my eye makeup look today with this Big Mood new mascara that just recently was launched. It is in the shade Black. This is what the brush looks like. It's in a figure 8 shape. This mascara was available in deluxe size, and this is what I picked up. I said this mascara does not smudge or flake. The brush is very nice and give you that curl and volume right off the bat, and it is really comfortable to use on my upper lashes. I do not see that much of a length, however the volume is really nice. It also builds up really nicely in several layers. I find it a little bit more difficult to apply it on my lower lashes because the wand is a little bit bigger than I'm used to, because my lower lashes are very thin and sparse and they curve. I just have to take my time to build up that volume. However, I do really like the formula. So to finish this look up and actually give it this last oomph and turn this into a very fall look, I'm going to be using this e.l.f. Twist Up Matte Crayon in the shade Wine. This is a formula that is very comfortable on lips. It's infused with vitamin A, C, and E. Well, now this looks like a full glam. This is definitely not my typical makeup look that I usually go for. I usually go for the warmer look. This is definitely more of a cooler tone look. However, this berry lip just makes everything make sense and kind of pulls everything together. To set my face today, I will be using the Makeup Mist and Set Setting Spray. So this is the final makeup look, and I cannot be any happier. I think this is just such a beautiful fall look. It is definitely a little bit more dramatic. I love the bold lip. This actually puts me in a very, very fall mood. This makeup look felt so effortlessly to apply using all these products. The fact that all these products are within $5 range, maybe a few dollars more here and there, it blows my mind. Everything that I've used today by quality feels high-end. If I would have to select my top favorites from all the products that I used today, would definitely be this powder blush and the Putty bronzer. I really, really like the formula of this. It is sheer, however, it's buildable, and it just gives you that beautiful, glowy, healthy look to your skin, and it blends into skin really easily. I really like this highlighter. I obviously love the Porless Putty primer. It just definitely deserves all the hype and attention it has been getting. I do like both of the powders, especially the Halo Glow setting powder, even though my preference doesn't lay in loose powder formulas. However, I think that the quality and how this powder performs is absolutely amazing. I've mentioned it so many times already in this video and in my previous videos that both eyebrow products that I use today are absolutely amazing, and I intend to make them as permanent items in my collection for time being. I also really, really love the setting spray. It is actually mask proof. This makeup setting spray just sets your makeup for literally the whole entire day. It is not heavy, it's really comfortable. The mister is really nice, it's not fragranced, all the good things. And of course, I have to say that this product is so nice. It is that matte formula that just feels very nice and hydrating. It almost makes no sense when you say those two things together, matte and hydrating. However, it's this. It's on my lips, and it is not very matte formula. It's that soft matte formula that kind of dries down a little bit. However, it still feels very creamy and hydrating on lips. When I was looking to add additional color to my already pretty large lipstick collection, I went for the color that I normally wouldn't pick, but I also wanted something that would be wearable during the fall. And I'm so happy I picked this color. Again, this is the shade Wine, and this is the most beautiful berry tone lipstick that I've ever tried on my lips. I think that any skin tone would be benefiting from this color. This pencil shape applicator, it's just so convenient. I feel like I had no difficulty whatsoever to apply the clean line. This sums up my video today. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumb up. I hope you consider subscribing before you leave. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next videos. Bye.